Hello and welcome to Sport This Morning. I'm Cecilia Morgan.
A very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Let's start you off with the news making the rounds from this part of the world. Let's start with the 2018 African Nations Championship. The Super Eagles of Nigeria held to a barren draw right there in Tangiers by the Amavubi of Rwanda. Despite many scoring chances, the Super Eagles failed to find the back of the net.
Yeah, it wasn't just the day for the Super Eagles. The goals refused to go in. Also on the program, Alexis Sanchez. What is next for this player? Well, Manchester City are pulled out of the deal and Manchester United are in forefront of it. But someone is actually saying he might just end up at the bridge. What's next for him?
Yeah, it's a big question. Chelsea throwing their hat into the ring. Some have said Alexis might just wait and run down his contract with Arsenal. But the question is, what next? We don't know. Alexis will tell us in a few hours. All right, let's leave football now and go to tennis. Day 2 at Australia Open Down Under. The top seeds getting the job done. Novak Djokovic, Maria Sharapova, all of them moving on right there in Melbourne.
Okay, and that's where we'll start, the action day 2. Or rather, before that, we'll start with the NBA, right? Okay,
yeah, surely.
Some actions went down over the night. And of course, when you have the Warriors and the Cavs, together, usually is a tough game. But then the Warriors proving once again that they are the best.
Yeah, that's it on your screen, Cecilia. I mean, there's nothing to add to what you just said. This is still the regular season. When it comes to the playoff, you expect to see these two, teams square off. Cleveland Cavaliers losing that one to the Golden State Warriors, 108-112. Oklahoma City Thunder, despite going behind in the first 2 quarters, the Sacramento Kings got the job done, 95 points to 88, and were able to win that game. The guys, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, all of them came to the party. Utah Jazz lost to Indiana Pacers, 94 points to 109. And the LA Clippers defeated the Houston Rockets, 113 points to 102. But Cecilia, I know you have some, especially, I know you want to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers game. It's always tough, and those kind of games is little separating. Unfortunately, the cruel game of basketball, there has to be a winner, but I mean, little separating both sides. Yeah,
very little, but it was more like the NBA matchup, between both these two sides. When you see that the fact that the Warriors' 13th consecutive road victory in a rematch like that against the Cavs, you know that, yes, these guys in this series, they're just ready to sweep everything. But another thing is when you have Kevin Durant having about 32 points in this one, Steph Curry, 23 points, Klay Thompson, 17 for the Warriors, and of course all of them combining to have 11 of 3-pointers. You know that these guys, when they're together, there's always a huge score line. And also another fact that, outscoring the Cavs 36-21 behind the Cavs. That's from the 3-point throw line. You know that these guys were really ready. Another game I want to talk about had to do with, where Russell Westbrook had to be ejected. He actually lost his cool. But in that game, produced a double-double. But then Carmelo Anthony also scored 15 of his 20 points, and they turned around in the 3rd quarter. They won the game, but then at the end of the day, the fact that he was ejected, it's what actually made the headlines in that one. Indiana Pacers, you talked about? Victor Oladipo. Come on, whenever you have Indiana Pacers, just try to remember that there is a certain Nigerian that is there. And that's the reason why most of us stay late in the night to just want to watch. If just it's only that game because of Victor Oladipo. We had 28 points in that one and grabbing 6 rebounds, also dishing out 6 assists in that game for Indiana. And of course, the good thing is that they won the game. So when you have a guy like that, you know that, yes, they are good. But the Lakers, what's happening to them? We thought they were on the winning run, but somehow, not having their 2 rookies with them, they lost that one to Memphis Grizzlies, 1-3. 1-14.
Yeah, one thing about sports that make it interesting is having a side to belong to. And some of the times when you watch these basketball games, I mean, you look out for the teams that you love. And I mean, you were talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder, how Starman was ejected and, was still able to get 9 points, put in a decent shift. But the other guys, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, I've always complained about him not having help. but I think I've had to change what I've said at the beginning of the season. I think the other guys now gradually coming into it, and you know, look, it's all about load shedding. I keep saying it in the NBA. You can, if you have a very good player, there are days he will have an off game. So you need the other guys shed the load, carry the weight, and ensure that things, you know, keep moving, and that's good. All right, that's the beats on the NBA. We'll give you more as the games get played. All right, let's go to the Australian Open, and really no upsets to report on day 2.
You say Milos Raonic can be an upset.
Oh, yeah. Yo, I missed that out. Pardon me. I missed that out. Well, you know, day 2, a lot of games that, you know, there are chances you miss out on some of those, you know, but like day 1.
Because we're looking at for the upsets.
Yeah, like on day 1, the party was ruined for the Americans.
Come on.
Clean sweep.
Later in the day.
The guys, the women, somebody said maybe because Serena Williams, at least she will have gotten 2. No matter how bad it was, she will have gotten into the second. But what do we start with? Maybe Novak, you know.
Okay.
He has said, don't look at my elbow. Don't just concentrate on my game. I'll come in there. I'll put in my best. And I mean, round 1, I mean, it was nice and easy, smooth. I think he played against Donald Young and got the job done as expected. And we'll see how far he can go. 6-1, 6-2, 6-4. Novak, I mean, we'll wait to see. This is day 1. If you're going into 4 like Stanislas, I'm already afraid for Stanislas. If you're already going into 4 sets in your first game, then you probably might not, or you're stretched to 5 sets. You probably, but as expected.
Novak did the job.
Yeah.
But then what he's wearing right now, compression sleeve on that elbow. But I mean, when 7, he didn't show any sign that, hey, when there's any injury and all that, he may just be, winning that game 1 hour, 15 minutes. He might just be the dude to really watch out for. He's back at the Australian Open, where he has won it 6 times. Will he go for a 7th? That's a big question for him. But then